Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including just general animation awards today. And I'm Dylan Heisen. Today I'm joined by Sam Quattro,
Hello.
Alex Bonilla,
Hola.
and Andy Potter.
Hello.
We're here today to reveal the nominations for the 2017 OVA-ies TV Animation Awards. This is our own website's animation awards. Basically, we don't think there's any good animation awards out there. Not a fan of the Annies, so we're doing our own. We did this last year, and this year we are once again doing it. We're live on YouTube here to reveal them. So hello, if you are watching live, we will respond if you comment in the chat and stuff. If you're listening to the audio recap later, if you look in the video, in the podcast description, there will be a YouTube link so you could watch that or listen to the audio version. But yeah, we're getting into our awards today. Find everything at overlyanimated.com, including all of our past podcasts and stuff, but not talking about any specific shows today. Just getting into these awards. So let's preface these with what's going on here. Basically, the nominations are in. We internally voted for 5 categories, which I'll reveal, which I'll say what they are. And it was our patrons, hosts, co-hosts, and writers, and we each listed our ballots, and then I've tabulated them, and now we have our nominees. And afterwards, after this, I'm going to publish nominee list, and we're turning it over to an open vote combination with a expert panel. So that's how we're going to determine the winners this year. Last year, we did a full open vote, and we're going to try to restrict the popularity contest element slightly with a expert panel, but more on that later. So yeah, the just television awards this year, no movies, basically because I wanted to do this in December, and we haven't seen all the movie contenders yet, but hopefully we'll be covering those on the podcast when we get access to them. We have so we're doing 5 categories, and these are from a fan's perspective. So this is different from most award shows you'll see, which are presented by people within the industry. So we have best character instead of best actor. So these are things that we should, in theory, be able to evaluate as fans. We are doing, so we have a 1 show per category policy. Now, this didn't actually come into play, so it didn't actually end up mattering, but it affected how we voted. Each show can only have 1 nominee per category, aka the Steven Universe rule after last year. There will be 6 nominees per category, critics' choice or whatever style, just get more in there. And oh yeah, two more things. This is, in theory, any show in the world can make this, but you also have to remember that this is coming from our website's perspective, and so we're going to be focusing on the shows we cover because that's what we've seen. But we are, in theory, evaluating the entire world television landscape, but we focus on Western animation. There's probably not going to be as much anime to come here. And last thing, this is the best of 2017, not the best overall show. So once you start voting, you are not voting for what is the best show. You're voting for what had the best run in 2017. Okay. So keep that in mind, because maybe that will affect what got in and what did not get in. But yes, without further ado, so we have 5 categories here. We're going to go in kind of inverse order of importance to reveal them. Best visuals, best supporting character, best main character, best episode, and then best show. And I'm going to try to get the PowerPoint up here, and we're actually going to have a visual presentation. Sam, what are you most looking forward to see while I try to get this up?
What do I most look forward to see, in the nominations?
Yeah, what's the biggest question mark heading in here?
How big is BoJack going to be? Because
Okay.
I really pushed for us to cover that show, and I'm rooting for it here.
Okay, yeah, looking forward to BoJack. That's been a critic's favorite so far in other animation awards. Alex, any other show you want to see how well it does here?
In addition to BoJack, which I think should be in the running for a lot of these categories, I'm also interested to see how Rick and Morty does, particularly which episode ends up getting nominated. And also, I'm kind of interested if OKKO gets a nod somewhere, because I think it's a really good show, and but I don't know how popular it is with our readers and listeners. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, a lot of borderline shows. We'll see if they get any nominations. Andy?
Yeah, that's what I'm most interested in, the borderline shows. I'm interested in how Samurai Jack does. I'm interested in how Little Witch Academia does, and shows like that. The ones that are not clearly like the best of the best, like Rick and Morty, BoJack, things like that, and Star. I'm curious to see how those shows measure up in these nominations.
Okay, well, 6 slots, so we'll see. There's a lot of room for Steph to get in here, but let's see if I can present this here. In theory, this is what you guys are seeing now, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good.
In reality.
Okay, so yeah, here's the awards, and let's get into it. So 2017 TV Awards. Nope, that's wrong screen. But let's get this up, and here we go. Okay. So first category is Best Visuals for an Animated Show of 2017. It's kind of a confusing one. It's not like Best Animation. It's basically just like what looks the best, just as unexpert of a judgment as we can make. So, and the nominees are Little Witch Academia, Miraculous Ladybug, Samurai Jack, Star vs. the Force of Evil, Steven Universe, and Voltron Legendary Defender. Yeah. Okay. We'll have analysis after we reveal all of these. That's our first category. Best Animated Supporting Character of 2017. We tried to define supporting character as someone who appears in about half of episodes or less. We'll see. The nominees are Diana Cavendish, Little Witch Academia, Hollyhock Mannheim, Guerrero Robinson, Zilberschlag, Sung, Fonzarelli, McQuack, BoJack Horseman.
Nice.
Lars Barriga, Steven Universe, Moon Butterfly, Star vs. the Force of Evil, Prince Lotor, Voltron Legendary Defender, and Summer Smith, Rick and Morty. And Andy, you can't see him, but he already thinks there's a snub here, and we'll get into it. But there's our 6 for supporting.
There is a snub. There is definitely a snub.
Okay, yeah, I guess you guys aren't going to pop up next. Okay, now Best Animated Main Character of 2017. BoJack Horseman. Emerald Golden Braid, Mysticons.
Wow.
Marinette Dupan-Chang, Miraculous Ladybug. Morty Smith, Rick and Morty. Star Butterfly, Star vs. the Force of Evil. And Vaishni Ruby. Okay, there's the 6 for main character. We'll talk about it. Best animated episode of 2017. These are the 2 big categories. Let's see what got in here. All Hail Necrofa, Mysticons. Starting off alphabetical order, ruining the surprise, but Mysticons is in. The Legend Begins, Voltron Legendary Defender. The Ricklantis Mix-Up / Tales from the Citadel, Rick and Morty. The Trial, Steven Universe. Time Zero, BoJack Horseman, and XCII Samurai Jack.
I'm pretty sure there might be a
93. Yeah, 93, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, 93. Okay. Or otherwise, the second episode of season 5.
Yes, the second episode of season 5 that aired this year, correct. Okay, last category here. Best Animated Show of 2017, the big one. The nominees are BoJack Horseman, Mysticons, Rick and Morty, Star vs. the Force of Evil, Steven Universe, and Voltron Legendary Defender. There you go. Those are the 6 that got in. Now we have nominations per show here. No show got nominated for every category. BoJack, Rick and Morty, Star, Steven, Voltron, Legendary Defender all got 4 nominations each. Mysticons, which we're going to talk about in a second. I know none of you know what that show is. Got 3 nominations. Samurai Jack 2, Little Witch Academia 2, Miraculous Ladybug 2, Ruby 1, and potentially our headline here, which is Adventure Time 0. So let's stop presenting, and okay, we can get into things here. Yeah, Sam, how do you like that Adventure Time snub? 0 nominations.
I disagree heavily. Islands was like a prime piece of TV in 2017. No nomination for Susan Strong. Nothing in regards to episodes. Like, come on, people. Disagree.
Disagree. Okay, yeah, Alex. No Adventure Time.
Yeah, Adventure Time, it's a bit weird because I agree that Islands was very good and Elements had its moments. But at the same time, there are, especially in the episode category, I think there's a lot of strong nominees there. So it's hard for me to justify kicking one off for an Adventure Time episode. But I do think it deserves something for Best Animated Show just because of the peaks that it ended up having this year.
Yeah. Okay. I published the list on the website if you want to go, if you guys want to have a visual now. Those listening and our co-hosts here. Yeah, not happy about No Adventure Time, but there was not an obvious episode to get in. I will say a few almost did get in anyway, but I think Islands was one of the best things that aired this year, and it not making it at all is not good. But you know, there's a lot of strong contenders. It did just miss for best show. But what did get in is Mysticons with 3 nominations. I'm going to post this to all of our feeds. So a lot of you are asking, what is the show? Well, it premiered in August on Nickelodeon, and we've been covering it. And I do genuinely think it is one of the about 7 or 8 best animated shows that I've aired this year. So I do think it's actually deserved that it got a Best Show nomination. It is still surprising. We were heavily pushing for Best Main Character, but it also got in for Episode and Best Show. Yeah, Alex, you are caught up on Mysticons. How deserved is this, or are we just too invested personally?
Well, I will start with a positive. I do think the characters are the strong point of Mysticons, so getting Emerald in there, I'm fine with that. She deserves a nomination. Like even Best New Show of 2017. Like maybe I'm too invested in my own shows, but I prefer OKKO over Mysticons. But I mean, Mysticons is an okay show. I'm a little uncomfortable calling it top 6 of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was in your top 6 on your ballot, so you contributed to this. But so it was also on mine. But yeah, I don't know. I think it deserves it. The episode one was maybe there's some other episodes that could have got in. One of my biggest snubs is No Star vs. the Force of Evil episodes got in on the episode category. It really split votes, and there was like 4 star episodes that just miss. And if you combined all their votes, it would have easily been number 1. But Running with Scissors is one of my top animation episodes of the year, and that did not get in. Not good.
And as for me, Moon the Undaunted was one of my favorite episodes this year, and a little disappointed that didn't get in either.
Yeah, Moon the Undaunted also, yeah, one of the ones that did not get in. Those are all great, but yeah, Star almost had too many strong episodes, so we all really disagreed on it.
I think what surprises me is the nomination for Moon as a supporting character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really surprising to me.
So I think what we forget is that Moon had a really strong February. So a lot of the early stuff is hard to forget, is hard to remember. But Moon is in the Star Marathon in February. She had her arc with her going into the woods, and then she was fighting the like Toffee in the finale. So there was a lot of strong Moon stuff earlier in the year. Andy, I know for me, the number 1 snub, and I know you agree with this, is No Scaramouche for Best Supporting Character.
Everyone's wrong. I just have to say that everybody's wrong who's listening to this podcast and didn't vote for Scaramouche. He is the best. He is the best to me. He was just incredible. Every scene that he was in, he stole. Every scene he just owned every scene just by existing, and Tom Kenny was incredible as him. It just doesn't. He was just I think he was only in 3 episodes, but somehow it felt like he was in way more than that. And on top of that, it was I don't know. It was incredible, everything he did with it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Scaramouche from Samurai Jack. He is the best supporting character. This whole category is invalid. Throw it out.
Yeah.
Wow, your own awards are.
That was my winner pick, and that was my number 1 on my ballot. Just no love from our other voters.
I just want to step in. I loved Scaramouche, but like even if we had a best villain category, I think Loader wins because Loader had a strong year as well. So I would put my support towards Loader if I had to choose. But I agree, Scaramouche is fun, but he just like in terms of volume, he didn't have quite enough in the series.
Yeah, so Lotor from so let's do this character first. Let's go through all the categories here. Best supporting character. So we have Diana from Little Witch Academia, Hollyhock, Lars, Moon, Prince Lotor, and Summer. So I don't know if these are all strong possibilities. I don't know if there's any one big favorite in this category. What do we think? Lotor? I think he's going to get a lot of support. I could also see Lars doing really well. Lars had a very strong year from Steven Universe.
Yeah, I kind of want to put my support behind Lars because he's the one who went through the biggest change from his status quo in the show. Because somehow turning himself into one of the most sympathetic characters on the show, when for a long time he had been among the so-so townies, like patched in with Kevin and Ronaldo sometimes. So the fact that he's made this big turnaround in the course of the year is kind of a big deal, and I think he deserves consideration for winning this, along with maybe one or two others here.
Yeah, Andy, do you have a favorite in this category?
I think my favorite's Hollyhock. Hollyhock was she was just a really good through line into BoJack this season, into the character and the show itself. And every scene she was in, she pretty much was the focus of, and I really liked seeing everything she did. Not to mention, her family's incredible, her name's incredible, and kudos on pronouncing and going through that whole name so well, Dylan. I'm impressed by going through that name.
I nailed that, yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah, Sam, do you agree Hollyhock here?
I do agree Hollyhock, mostly because she's the character I like the best, / mostly know the best in that category. Love her. Yes, man in the chat says, I am glad Holly didn't die.
I'm glad too.
Was that a possibility?
That's a fair observation.
And then Andrew also says Holly is a completely new character, though, which I agree with. Yeah, it's sort of like, new character, supporting character, how can we pick? I don't know.
It counts. Yeah, I also am pushing for Hollyhock in this category. I think she had the strongest year out of one of the strong. I think she was such a great addition. Really made the season, to be honest. Like her and the BoJack's mom storyline were the two big highlights of the season of BoJack. So
just so y'all know, I did nominate Beatrice in my supporting character ballad.
Yeah, Beatrice would have been good too, but they couldn't They both could not have gotten in with our one per show rule.
That's dumb.
I was also shout outs to Diana from Little Witch Academia, who is one of the big highlights of that show. Little Witch Academia, our only anime that got in, and Diana is a really strong character. And I'm glad that potentially the two best elements of LWA are visuals and supporting characters. So I think it's appropriate that it got in. And yeah, so I think Lotor, Moon, Hollyhock, Lars probably favorites in here, but yeah, I don't know. These are the strong category. Let's talk visuals. Little Witch Academia, Miraculous Ladybug, Samurai Jack, Star Wars Force Fuel, Steven Universe, Voltron, Legendary Defender. For me, this is a clear 2-horse race between Little Witch Academia and Samurai Jack. These are the two visual standouts of the year. Yeah. Well, what do you
those are the two horses. Like Samurai Jack is just really stylistic, and Little Witch Academia is just like so beautiful. Every scene is just beautiful when you animate it that way. I don't know. I don't. Miraculous Ladybug, Star, Steven, and Voltron are all really pretty shows too, but they don't really have the same oomph when you're watching them as these shows do.
Yeah, I think Star is the only other one that I'd remotely consider, just because it sometimes has these stunning visual moments, but so does Little Witch Academia, and it's better. Like Little Witch Academia is just a better visual version of Star, and then Samurai Jack if you want like the stylistic fight scenes.
Yeah.
Alex,
I do want to give it. Yeah, I have Samurai Jack as the clear favorite here. I think that show focused so much on just the visual side of it, maybe to the detriment of the plot and character stuff. But it is so beautiful to look at, especially in the first half of the season, that I think it deserves the award. Although I do want to give a shout out to Steven Universe, because this year has been especially focused on the homeworld side of things. So and that all that stuff, seeing yellow and blue diamonds play, seeing where the off colors are hanging out, it's totally new backgrounds, and it's still as pretty as ever to look at the backgrounds in that show as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was this category not super meant for a show like Steven Universe, which is going to get a bunch of nominations in other categories, but it did have a standout visual year with the homeworld stuff.
I'd also like to say that Voltron has some really, really gorgeous backgrounds to it. Some of the main stuff that's going on, like the foreground isn't as gorgeous as some of the other shows here, but the backgrounds are always incredible paintings of these planets, and I love them.
Yeah. Voltron is the show made by the best animation studio in the world, so I think you always have to consider it here. Also made by the best animation studio, Lego Elves Secrets of Elvendale will snub in this category. No one even considered it. It's not, it's not about it being a good show. It's about it looking good. All you had to do was open up Netflix and watch it for 5 minutes, and then you could have judged it. But no Lego Elves. Wrong.
This is why they do for your consideration pushes, Dylan.
It was at the top of we had a document. And it was at the top, and no one considered it.
I did consider Dylan, and then I decided if I'm nominating Voltron, if I'm nominating one of the two, I'm just going to nominate Voltron because they're the same thing. And
they are the same studio.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk. By the way, a lot of people in chat saying watch another of those two shows. When yes, very possible. Half of comes from a popularity contest, so anyone can win. But we're having these expert committees, and probably our committee will be ranking LWA or Samurai Jack first. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Best main character of 2017. This was the weakest category in terms of like potential nominees, so it got in a few surprises. BoJack, M from Mysticons, Marinette from Ladybug, Morty, Star, and Weiss. I think that M, Marinette, and Weiss are going to be surprises to a lot of people. M was pretty strongly, and to be honest, that was a strong campaigning push from us because we love Mysticons. And Marinette and Weiss are my fault, so if you blame me if you disagree with that. But I think those are two great characters, and I think it's good to get the show's recognition here.
Andrew says, "Please leave, Dylan."
About what? Lego Elves?
I don't know.
Fight me.
Most likely.
Lego Elves is a good show.
No, he said before that SU and Star have done some amazing visual storytelling this year.
Yeah, I agree. They all deserve nominations in that category.
Anyway.
So I don't think Andy Weiss for best character deserves it. Ruby representation. Ruby does not deserve a nomination in an award show.
It doesn't. But Weiss in there. The thing is with Weiss, I think she had the actual character development the previous seasons. We just weren't sure if she would actually pay off with it, and she actually paid off with it this season, and so it's really exciting. So I'm happy with this. She's not going to win, and she shouldn't win.
Yeah. Michael in the chat giving away that the Weiss and Marinette ones were last minute pushes by me. We had politics in this, much like normal award shows, so it worked. Weiss is the best part of Ruby, so it makes sense that she got in, if anything.
Yeah.
Marinette from Ladybug. I think that Ladybug is actually a serious contender in these type of award shows now. It's made leaps and bounds improvements in season 2 so far. That being said, we've only seen 7 episodes. But I really don't think it's invalid for it to get 2 nominations here. And Marinette's always been a great character.
Yeah.
I think the other 3 are serious contenders, though. BoJack from BoJack. Here's the thing. I didn't really vote for BoJack because did he himself have a great year? Like, BoJack in general is a wonderful character. But Alex, what was BoJack doing this year? What are his highlights?
Well, definitely stupid piece of. I don't think we're allowed to curse here, but but that episode in particular just highlighted the whole reason a lot of us emotionally connect to BoJack. The fact seeing his inner monologue go through, and also seeing him deal with Hollyhock, seeing some bits and pieces of emotional improvement compared to previous seasons and how he's dealt with his issues. So all in all, I think it's still a strong season for BoJack, and in a bit of a weak year, I think the race is between him and Star Butterfly, because also Star had a strong year too. She's gone through a lot with the battle for Muni and coming to terms with what her place is in the kingdom right now, and with all the magic stuff. So at least to me, the decision is between those two, between BoJack and Star.
Sam, what do you think of BoJack's year and also Star's year?
I mean, BoJack disappeared. Didn't you remember? That was like the whole like.
That's why it's surprising to me that he gets the nomination the year he disappeared on the show. Yeah.
It was like the whole like advertising premise of the season. Anyway, yeah, I agree with Alex. Super Piece of Poop was a great episode exemplifying, BoJack's character and why we relate to him, etc. I don't know. I think like the elements, of course, with Hollyhock and with Beatrice really worked. As well as, like, disappearing from Princess Carolyn's life, disappearing from Diane's life, disappearing from everybody's life, and how he has to, like, deal with that coming back, I think was great. But then again, my ballad, I don't remember who I nominated. Princess Carolyn? Yeah.
I was pushing Princess Caroline instead of
Yeah,
BoJack.
Princess Caroline, I think maybe had a better year than BoJack because I don't like her episodes this season and like her character arc were so amazing. But I'm glad that to see any
Ruthie,
character.
Right?
Yeah,
yeah. Anyone from BoJack, is great to get.
Not the clown dentist though, not Todd. I mean Todd
had a great year, but then the Todd asexual arc's incredible, but then he went to clown dentist, so I don't know. It's tough to judge.
So that just like spoiled it all. Like I'm kind of surprised at that episode. Like I didn't really see it in the ballads that much. But
yes, some people were pushing for it. There are a lot of great BoJack episodes.
Star, but Star, I don't know. I think considering how I like binge watch that show, I can't really say like what's this year, what was like a year or two ago. I think in terms of recent episodes, she's been doing much better. Personally, I would have liked to see Marco.
Yeah, Marco's also very strong, but only one could get in.
I'm a big Marco fan. Star is growing on me though, so I think
Okay, both are two of the best.
Nomination for the sake of like having something from the show on there.
Yeah, both are two of the best characters on TV. It's splitting hairs. Give me M from Miscons over BoJack. That's for sure, because I think M is one of the strongest elements of Miscon. She's genuinely a great character, and I think she's had a better year than BoJack. But my number one and my pick for this category is Star Butterfly, the best animated character on TV. Same as last year. Once again, throwing my support behind Star. I don't think she had a great November, so that hurts because the show chose to not focus on anything inside her head and instead like leave us guessing at her motivations, and that was very frustrating. However, February and Battle for Muni, Star was absolutely incredible.
Wow, you don't like that she turned into like this giant butterfly and then like went to some sort of like unicorn?
I like that part. That was good. Yeah, the finale parts were good, but the dating Tom and not knowing why, I don't like that. Oh, yeah. But yeah, Star in February was so good, so I support Star. But look, watch Mysticons and give some consideration to M. She's really good.
I'm with you on that, Dylan. Like I'm actually like M is incredible. M is definitely my strong number 2 here in this category.
Should be noted, Zarya just missed this category too. She wouldn't have gotten in because of the one nominee rule, but Zarya was like
Zarya's the gay one, right?
Zarya, yeah, she is.
Yeah,
Zarya was tied for the
pushing for Zarya over Emerald. So
yeah. Mysticons was like ended up being the one show that might have been hurt by that one nominee rule.
That's funny. Yeah. That's really funny.
Yeah. I do want to highlight the lack of Steven Universe characters here because I guess Steven.
This was the one. This was the one category Steven did not make it in. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it is a bit of a reflection of where the show is right now. That it's kind of gone away from the main character stuff. It's been focusing a lot more on plot, especially when you consider the homeworld bombs we've gotten. But as a result of that, we're kind of straying away from what some people like about Steven Universe, the focus on the interaction between Steven and the Crystal Gems. So that's just something I'm looking forward to in 2018, seeing how the show deals with that, tries incorporating the Crystal Gems back into being good characters again, something that I don't think 2017 was great for that show.
Yeah, like you said in the chat, he voted for Pearl. Pearl's always good, but she didn't do that much this year. Same with Peridot for supporting character. Peridot is the eternal best supporting character on TV. Like she's number 1, but she did not have that. She didn't even do that much this year. So that's the thing. It's what happened in 2017. People were pushing for Steven himself out of Steven Universe, and I do think he had another strong year, but didn't get in over these 6. Should be noted, Keith from Voltron just missed. My last minute Marinette campaign really screwed Keith out.
Dylan.
I think
how dare you?
I think that's okay though. Keith kind of like if you ask me like after season 3 if Keith should be on the list, I'd agree. But after season 4, he really went down for me.
That's the thing. Keith disappeared. He had a really strong seasons 2 and 3, but then he disappeared in season 4. But he is probably the best character on Voltron, even though I don't like him that much. Okay. What else we got? Wow. Best episode. So we got All Hail Necrofa, Legend Begins, Reclantis Mix Up, The Trial, Time Zero, and XCIII.
Oh my God, pronounce it correctly, Dylan, please.
XCI, yeah, isn't that how they're going to pronounce it when like on TV?
93. Right.
Roman numerals.
No, they don't teach that anymore. But for me, considering Running with Scissors didn't get in, there's 2 contenders in this, which are the two of the best episodes of the year, animation or not. That's Reclantis Mix Up and Time Zero from BoJack and Rick and Morty. These episodes are incredible. Andy, what do you think?
I actually think it's a 3-horse race, just because I think our likes differ a little bit, and I think the Samurai Jack episode gets in there a little bit too, just because it's such a different thing. These are 3 very different episodes of television. We have the incredibly funny Tales from the Citadel. We have pretty almost painful episode of Time's Arrow, and then just the incredible stylistic fight that is just this episode 2 of Samurai Jack. And I think all three of these are just so very different on the spectrum that they're gonna fight for all these votes. I think that's gonna be what's happens here.
Yeah, Alex, what do you think of my 2-horse race pronouncement?
I agree. I'm with Andy that Samurai Jack has a chance at this, but I think in the end it's going to end up being between Rick and Morty and BoJack Horseman, just because those episodes were so good. And in particular, BoJack Horseman Time's Arrow interests me because at least for me, I think there are maybe even 3 episodes in the season that could have made this list. Because I think Stupid Piece of Poop was really good. Also, the old Sugarman Place. I know
those two also got a significant amount of votes. Yeah,
and even some would argue Ruthie, right? So it's just Time's Arrow is really good, but I think that there's a very small difference between that episode and a couple of other episodes in the show.
I agree. Those other 3 episodes are, and we can throw in Hooray Todd episode. I think those are the top tier episodes of the season. That being said, I think Time's Arrow is just so stand out for me. I guess I like that more than you guys, because I think that's the best episode of BoJack by far, and I think I have it like number 3 or 4 overall for TV this year. Probably give me Tales from the Citadel though, from Rick and Morty. That's absolutely phenomenal episode, and the best episode Rick and Morty, and just really incredible. That's definitely my pick here. That being said, All Hail Necropa Mysticon season 1 finale, Legend Begins, Voltron, and 93 from Samurai Jack, all incredible episodes. Yeah. Should be noted, yesterday from Little Witch Academia was tiebreakered out. So that was in significant contention. That would have been a distant 6th for me, but that just missed. Okay. I can't tell you with what. I'm trying not to reveal the order of the.
Well, talk to me about it later, Dylan. I'm gonna be inside.
Well, patrons are going to get the ballot, the open ballot after. So patrons and co-hosts will see. All right, best show we got BoJack, Mysticons, Rick and Morty, Star, Steven, and Voltron. So Adventure Time just missed. Samurai Jack also missed, and Little Witch Academia. Those are the 3 that were any close to this category. So we talked a little bit about the legitimacy of Mysticons, but I think that narratively it is the strongest one of these 6 elements, kind of like by far. I mean, BoJack's narratively different, right? Like it is a different, but like it's the most plot heavy of these shows. Like if you're wondering like what is Mysticons doing there, it's like this young girls show on Nick. It is the most plot heavy of these 6 shows. That's kind of crazy. I think it's a legitimate contender here, although my 3 picks are BoJack, Rick and Morty, Star vs. Force of Evil. I think they had the 3 strongest years. Star hurt itself in November. But Andy, what do you think?
I'm still stunned because you're saying that Mysticons has a better story, and I'm looking at the list, and I think you're right.
It's true, yeah.
It's kind of crazy looking at these shows, but I agree with you. This is kind of the most boring section for me. Like I'm just like it's going to be one of these shows. They're all good. I'm not really going to be upset if any of these 3 win. It's not really that. I think personally, I think that I want Rick and Morty to win, but I won't be upset if BoJack or Star wins either.
Pushing for Rick and Morty. Sam, what out of the shows you watch, what are you pushing for here?
I mean, obviously BoJack. I don't know, because Steven Universe just airs so infrequently that it just feels like, did that episode even happen this year? Did the whole, Homeworld arc even happen this year? I don't remember. Obviously it did. Star, I agree, it did hurt itself this November. It's kind of run of the mill, blah blah blah. Marco's back, blah, 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 sort of whatever. And to be fair, I have watched a good chunk of Mysticons. Obviously not
catch up.
But I don't know. I think a story can be very complex and very in depth, but it's just.
Yeah, I mean, it's a first season of a show going up against BoJack's 4th season. It's not fair, but yeah.
And plus, like I said earlier, I really pushed for us to cover BoJack because BoJack is one of my favorite shows. So I'm really biased about that.
Yeah, I mean, BoJack is a strong contender here. Alex, what do you got out of these 6?
Yeah, BoJack to me is my personal front runner. I think this season has had a very high quantity of top tier episodes and. To the point where I think is just the strongest season of any of these shows. Rick and Morty has a chance, especially because the Rick Lantis Mix-Up was such a good episode, and that definitely has a case for best episode of the year, and it has a couple of other good ones. And and then on a second tier, I'd say Star versus the Forces of Evil, and even Voltron, because Voltron definitely picked up in seasons 3 and 4 to the point where it feels like a much more exciting show now, at least to me. So I think that also has a case. And then Steven Universe, like it's a fine show still, but compared to previous years, it doesn't quite deserve that recognition in 2017.
Please don't blindly vote for Steven Universe. Yes, Steven Universe is one of, if not the best shows on TV still, but we're talking 2017 specifically. Like you're not doing it, you're not insulting it by not voting for it this year. It's last year.
Dylan,
yes.
We finally went to Homeworld.
Yeah, for 5 seconds. Talk to me when we're back there. But yeah, it was 2016. Steven Universe was the correct pick. It did win our awards last year, and it had an incredibly strong 2016. 2017, no. So don't vote for Steven. Voltron, I think, had. I'm fine with Steven Universe getting the nomination, though. It's still great this year. Voltron, I agree. Season 3 and 4 were excellent. I still think it's a step behind some of these other shows. Miscons is going to have aired 20 episodes, to be honest. Like I think that's enough to put it in contention. And like I said,
that's more than Steven Universe.
Is that actually
really
true?
sad? Yeah,
seasons are like what, 13 or something, 15. Like that's kind of crazy. And Miscons episodes are double length. But yeah, please strongly consider Star. It's had an absolutely incredible run this year. Consider BoJack. Watch BoJack if you haven't. Was also good. Although I think season 3 of BoJack was better than season 4. So it's not. He didn't have his strongest performance. But my problem as of now, I'm open to changing. My pick for this category is Rick and Morty. The thing that's hard is that it didn't end well and it didn't wrap up any of its arcs. So looking at it from a season-long view, it's kind of like BoJack had a better season-long arc. Rick and Morty had a better sum of its episodes. Like the individual Rick and Morty episodes were great, and BoJack had a few more of a few duds. But Rick and Morty didn't end anything, and it just wrapped up with a bad finale. Like they were supposed to be three episodes longer. So you're kind of weighing episode by episode versus season long arc, and I think either's valid, but probably right as of now, my vote's going towards Rick and Morty. But I could be convinced for Star or BoJack. I think those two are also wonderful.
Can we write in votes?
No write-ins.
No?
Write in for Adventure Time? What do you want to write in? Yeah.
I really think Adventure Time has had probably its best year. I really do.
Its best year is a bit.
I think that's pushing it. Other than
best
Islands,
year
I don't
since
think
2011 or 2012.
Sure. I think Islands was incredible, and then I don't think there's really anything else.
Skyhook's still in. Skyhook.
Yeah, Elements dragged a little. I got
Elements was fine. It was good, but Islands was one of the best things on TV this year. It was in January, so we forgot about it, but it was genuinely one of the best things. So
and we're going places with it, like whatever. Maybe next year.
Michael in the chat says I'd have put Adventure Time over SU. I did it. I had that on my ballot. Yep.
Yeah, I would have done that too, but nope.
I don't know. We can get the Legacy Adventure Time nomination next year because it'll wrap up in 2018. But of course, it's only going to be airing 8 episodes. Let's nominate
the Minecraft episode.
Yeah, the Minecraft for best episode for 2018. We're pushing that.
No, we're not doing that.
Why not?
Not going to do that. No.
Yeah. Yusman says in chat season 2 of Voltron was in 2017. In case you read, yeah, Voltron aired 26 episodes this year. Season 2, 3, and 4 all aired in 2017. That is a lot. God. I don't know if season 2 airing helps or hurts Voltron because I don't think season 2 is very good. It was good, but it wasn't as good as season 3 and 4. So like it brings the average episode quality down, but it did air a lot of episodes. So.
I completely forgot season 2 was.
Beatrice says, Adventure Time's ending. Where have you been, Beatrice? Yes, Adventure Time is ending.
Yeah.
Clearly I'm a movie person. Yeah. It's ending. It's one of the most prominent animated shows of the past whatever is. And
decade.
Next year, 8+ Minecraft episode left. We'll be covering we wouldn't even cover the most recent 4 that have not aired on TV yet.
Yeah.
We will, but
someday. A lot of opinions about those.
Are there?
And holding.
Okay, we'll talk about this soon. So
yeah, we will.
Andrew says writes in Miraculous Ladybug for best show. Again, I think season 2 has been really good. I don't think it's aired enough episodes yet, but I'm kind of open towards this. I'm open towards Miraculous Ladybug being in closer to the top tier of shows. I don't think it's there. I don't think it was definitely was not there in season 1. It was kind of a bad show. We liked it anyway, but it's kind of bad, and now it's been much better. So we're still waiting. I don't think it's been good enough to get there yet. But yeah, so there you go. Well, let's chat. Give us your final comments, and let's go to Sam for what's your wrap up on our nominations here.
I mean, obviously, I am like your friend Dylan, so I'm like, okay, I just get it over with. Let's do this nomination thing. I don't really
You're
agree.
saying that's why you're on. You didn't want to be on. That's
okay. No, I'm saying, I don't really agree with a lot of these nominations. I feel like, obviously it does feel like a popularity contest. I believe somebody in the chat has been saying, it's kind of like our Kids' Choice Awards.
Yeah, like, we're trying to mitigate that with the open vote, with only making that worth half. But yeah, it kind of.
But I don't like. It's interesting. Like maybe it'll give me motivation to watch some of these shows. Mysticons primarily, since it's like
yesterday's episode of Mysticon Sam was very good.
I'll get to tell me whenever they get that gay kiss, and then I'll get to it.
Yeah, next year, coming 2018.
You know that's like the way to my heart.
Yeah, well, these are big headlines heading into next year. We have 2 potential female kisses on Nick and Cartoon Network. Will the Bubline kiss happen, and will the Mysticon's kiss make it to air? So we'll be tracking those.
I don't know. You kind of spilled the beans on that one. Maybe it won't.
No, it was raising expectations.
Only good. What, the Bubline kiss? No, I have
no. The Mysticons.
That's only going to help its case. We're trying to pressure them into airing it. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Alex, what's your wrap ups here?
A little disappointed OKKO didn't even get a mention either.
To be honest, it wasn't really close, but yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like either Enid or KO had a shot for best main character of the year. I think Dendi had a shot for best supporting character. I think characters are the strong point of that show to begin with, so a little disappointed in that. But as to the actual nominees we ended up with, for the most part, I don't really have much of an issue. I think the right Rick and Morty and BoJack Horseman episodes were picked. I think there's not really a supporting character that stands out as wrong per se.
That's Scaramouche,
so
but yeah.
Just all in all, it's a good deal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Good nominations, Andy.
Other than the Scaramouche snub, which I will never get over, I think this list really shows just kind of the weird place we are in animation TV right now, where we don't have a lot of very plotty shows that are like where the plot is the best part, and we don't have a lot of really strong main characters. We have a couple of standouts for main characters, but honestly, all these shows are being carried by their supporting cast, which is just incredible. Just our supporting cast list is just a bunch of incredible characters that are all really fun to watch. And we missed a bunch of really exciting ones, even with this list that we have. So it's just interesting, those things that are, I think that I see now that I'm looking at these nominees.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, Bubline from Adventure Time. Yes, Princess
Bubbline.
Bubbline.
Her name is Marceline. It's Marceline, Dylan.
This is the cat egg problem.
I forget what my trolls are sometimes, and I just I think Andy brings up a good point. It was very interesting to see that the supporting character category was much more strongly contested than the main character category. I think a lot of these shows are heavily reliant on their supporting casts, and as opposed to a show like Mysticons, where we could have nominated every single one of their main characters, and there wasn't really a standout side character to nominate. That being said, Mysticons really just missed a 4th nomination with Kitty Boone, but it's we pushed a little hard on the Mysticons campaigning. We don't have a lot of main character like shows like Adventure Time and like Steven Universe.
SpongeBob. We're forgetting him.
You wanted SpongeBob for best main character?
Yeah, Fairly Odd Parents. We're forgetting them.
Timmy.
What was the best SpongeBob episode of this year?
I have no clue.
What was a SpongeBob episode that aired this year?
Apparently, SpongeBob has been getting good again because Steven Hillenburg is back. I don't know.
Okay, I haven't heard that from anyone else, so I'll trust you on it. But I think that was interesting, and I generally think we got this right. There's 2 big snubs for me: Scaramouche for supporting character and Running with Scissors for best episode. But it's what we have is also fine. The six episodes that got in are all great, and vote for. I think whatever wins in any of these categories will be fine, unless Steven Universe sweeps because of its popularity, which that's the only thing I'm worried about. But hopefully we'll offset that. So you guys can vote. Michael says SpongeBob snub is unacceptable, rigged. Yeah. I mean, none of us watch the show anymore, so it kind of is rigged against it. That's true. Yeah. And
Teen Titans Go.
Teen Titans Go. Yeah. What did appear on a ballot at one point, but did not get in.
Oh my!
It did.
Oh yeah, Hugh Rose out of here.
But didn't get there. And
did Neo Yokio get mentioned
no,
at
no
all?
Neo Yokio. Yeah. Where's our worst of category? Neo Yokio, Teen Titans Go. No.
No Toblerone.
I've heard Teen Titans Go is fine. Let's be clear. We're not anti Teen Titans Go here, but
It's just not for us.
not necessarily. Yeah.
How far did Choco go?
Yeah, he tried to get Choco from Wisconsin, did not happen. But there we go. So a lot of luckily we got only strong nominees here, and you guys can vote. Go to overlyanimated.com and click on the article, and you'll find the Google form link. You'll have to sign in with a Google account to vote. That we're not tracking who you are. That's just to limit one vote per person. 50% that, 50% will form internal committees. If you're watching this live or listening to it very soon after it came out and you want to be on an internal committee, you can email us. But those are going to only consist of people who've seen every show in the category. That's like the purpose. That's the thing you're afraid of with people who are voting. They haven't seen all the shows, so why are you voting in a category? But you guys can still do that if you want. But we're mitigating that with only the experts who've seen all the shows in the categories. And yeah, so voting ends the 22nd, and we'll have some sort of reward show after. I don't know if we'll do this live thing again or if we'll just do a regular podcast. So
yeah, we should all get dressed up in like tuxedos and stuff, and like make little statues.
Yeah, let's do that.
And like have like an in memoriam.
Yeah,
this is a good way to force all the internal people to watch Mysticons, Dylan.
Yeah. So those who haven't watched, that's why Alex caught up. So Alex is good on the Mysticons ones, but
yeah. I guess this is a good way to get.
Yeah, seriously, watch Mysticons. That's the conclusion of this podcast. And no, we're not.
This was all a backdoor Mysticons plug.
Kind of, yeah. We're gonna.
It kind of was.
Get the tweet out soon with the hashtags and all the shows that made it, and people will be like, "If those 5 shows make sense, wait, what? That's the no, seriously, one of the best shows on TV." Okay, so there you go. There's our nominations podcast. Go vote, and we will get the winners to you at the end of December. Thank you to everyone who nominated internally for us. We had some interesting.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Sam, personally. Yeah, check out overlyanimated.com. We have a bunch of podcasts coming up on a bunch of these shows as well. And come talk with us about the nominees and stuff in our Discord, overlyanimated.com/Discord. We had a lot of campaigning going on there, and it was
Discord's fun.
Discord's fun. Come text chat with us there. Consider supporting us via Patreon. Patrons got ballots. It's not even listed as a reward. Sometimes we just have random Patreon rewards, and that's one of them. You also get a purple moniker in the Discord. I don't know if that's the correct use of moniker, but a purple thing.
It's called a nickname in Discord.
It's a role. It's a role. You get a purple role in Discord for being a patron. Patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Damien, aka Diamond Day. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, Alex, Andy, and Hugh. Will be a bunch of stuff coming up at overlyanimated.com. Make sure you check it all out. And if you're like a Rick and Morty fan or a BoJack fan listening because you subscribe to those feeds and I'm putting it on the feeds, check out some of these other shows we're talking about and listen to some of our other podcasts. But we will be back also covering Rick and Morty and BoJack with new episodes and also potentially off-season podcasts. That's all on the table. We've just been very busy with the shows that we do cover. So yeah, thanks to those in chat for listening. Yeah, a bunch of not caught up on the chat as it's happening, but yeah, there you go. Patreon, it's great. Purple tag, great. So yeah, bye everyone in chat, and thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.